I just want to be Blue Ivy, nappy-headed. I'm sorry, but Northwest clears Blue Ivy. Have several seats. In this video, I'll be talking about almost decade-long hate train against a little child and what this means about our society and how we can do better. If you're interested, keep on watching. Blue Ivy, also known as Blue Ivy Carter, is the daughter of the famous singer/phenomenon known as Beyonce and her husband, the famous rapper Jay-Z. Ever since her birth about a decade ago, Blue Ivy Carter has been a major topic of discussion, but not all of this conversation has been positive. 2 days after her birth, her father Jay-Z took her vocals and put it on his song Glory. This caused Blue Ivy to be the youngest child ever to be on the Billboard charts, as well as causing Blue Ivy to be the most famous child born at the time. All this notoriety, however, wasn't really for the benefit of Blue Ivy, because a lot of people who were jealous of this young child's success would come out of the woodwork and start belittling and hating her just because of the way she looked like. All of this unnecessary hate and animosity towards this young child leads me directly into my next segment, which is the texturism and the featurism that many adults have towards Blue Ivy. Ever since her birth, Blue Ivy Carter has been a victim of texturism and featurism from a plethora of different people. However, the reason why I even wanted to make this video in the first place is the recent incident that involves Saucy Santana. As you guys saw by the tweets that I read to you in the beginning of this video, Saucy Santana has said a bunch of negative things towards Beyonce's firstborn daughter. He called her nappy-headed, and he even had the audacity to compare Blue Ivy to Northwest, saying that she had cleared her or whatever that means. But Saucy Santana isn't the only person who has said some very texturist, very featurist things about Blue Ivy, and I'm gonna get into it. After Megan Thee Stallion posted this picture that had her, Beyonce, and Blue Ivy, these two journalists came out of the woodwork and started berating her for her features. And I'm just gonna read you guys this tweet conversation that they had for the whole world to see. So the first person that said something was a Vanity Fair critic known as K. Austin Collins, and she said, "I have the feeling that Jay-Z's face jeans are really going to hit Blue Ivy, and I feel so sorry for her." Violet Luca, a web editor for Harper's Magazine, said, "They haven't already?" With Luca adding, "Or she'll get plastic surgery a la Kylie Jenner and we'll all have to pretend that she looked that way. I can't allow myself to feel too bad for the incredibly rich." These two later apologized, with one of the journalists even saying that black girls deserve better. But if black girls deserved better, where was this kindness and consideration when you guys were having this tweet conversation? Would you guys have even apologized if there wasn't a public backlash? I know you guys wouldn't, because our society does not value little black girls and is consistently bashing black women and black girls for our features and our hair type. But what really gets me is that these journalists are non-black, and they still had the audacity to come for this little black girl's features and everything about her blackness. But this speaks to our society's overarching problem with black girls and black women, and it all starts from the black community. The black community is notorious for shaming black features, even though the black community is supposed to be a safe space for black people. Wide nostrils, kinky hair, dark skin, these are features that are consistently looked down upon in the black community, even though those features are kind of vital to blackness as a whole. We can see this nonsense in daily life from the colorist and texturist conversations that you can hear your black grandparents or black aunts saying, as well as on our Twitter sphere, as we see people consistently bash black women for having the audacity to look black. Famous black women like Tiana Taylor, Ari Lennox, and Megan Thee Stallion are consistently ridiculed and admonished for having black features. In the article, "It's Time to Have the Colorism Conversation" by Carkeisha Kent, she states Lennox and Taylor were referred to as Rottweilers. People have ridiculed the width of Lennox's nostrils. Vicious rumors about Megan Thee Stallion actually being a man persist because of her strong build. Her wide nose also garnered comparisons to Lenny the Shark from Shark Tales. In the same article by Carkeisha Kent, she states, "It's wild that any woman would subject a young child to such harsh misogynistic gaze, and that a black man would willingly persecute racist stereotypes. But black men and white women have always been allies in these causes. As Bell Hooks wrote in Feminist Theory, from margin to center, they either act as oppressor or be oppressed themselves, and have chosen the former strategy. Their idea of liberation becoming on par with white men. And what makes the situation with Blue Ivy especially sad is that Blue Ivy is a child. She is a child growing up in a society that ever since her birth has hated her for having the audacity to look like her father, have a wide nose, just look like Jay-Z. She's a victim. Like, if she were to go on social media and to see half the things you guys have to say about her, just think about her self-esteem. Like, we can already see how the bullying has affected Kylie Jenner and how she has completely changed her whole entire face and body because she didn't want to look herself. And I wonder if these people who are writing such negative things about Blue Ivy, how would you feel if your sister was Blue Ivy? How would you feel if your daughter was Blue Ivy? Would you want people to say such negative and vile things about your loved one? Of course not. But these people feel so safe behind their monitors and behind their keyboards. And at least for Blue Ivy, she has the privilege of having parents such as Jay-Z and Beyonce who are probably doing a good job at shielding her from all of these texturist, racist, futurist things being said about her. But I know that when Blue Ivy has the opportunity to have social media, she's gonna have a really hard time adjusting to all of these negative things said about her. But now I want to think about all of the other children who aren't as fortunate as Blue Ivy. What happens to the people who are not rich and do not have the luxury of being protected by their parents like Blue Ivy is? If you are a child that is growing up and is seeing all of these negative things being said about people who look like you, seeing people like Blue Ivy being shamed for her features, but her features look like you, imagine what that is doing to little black children all over the United States, all over the world even. Because the hatred that you guys have about Beyonce's child, it also affects people who aren't Beyonce's children. Little black girls with wide noses, little black girls with 4C hair like me. Like, to see the way y'all hate 4C hair and wide noses is so disheartening for me to see. I really want to talk about how Beyonce's fame and notoriety is possibly causing more hate for Blue Ivy overall. So during my research, I found out that a lot of people were doing this very weird thing of comparing Blue Ivy and the way she looks with the Kardashian West children. And I was so confused as to why people were doing that until I found this article that kind of explained the reason why. So according to this article, North West and Blue Ivy have never played together by Vanity Fair. It says, "We have always imagined North West and Blue Ivy Carter were confidants of a kind. Sadly, this illusion was shattered Wednesday night as Kanye revealed during his Seattle concert, our children have never played together." So because of this perceived fantasy, many people were really upset when they found out that Blue Ivy and North West were not actually friends or even having playdates together. So in order to kind of get one up on Blue Ivy, seeing as she is the most famous out of the two, many people went to attacking her to kind of make North West feel better, when it's like these two people are children and you're grown adults typing away and trying to be a Twitter warrior. And I just want to talk about how despite all of this hate and animosity towards Blue Ivy, she's kind of been able to live her best life despite this. So as you guys can see by this beautiful picture of Jay-Z and Blue Ivy, that little girl looks gorgeous. Like, she is so beautiful, she is so happy, and she doesn't look severely depressed despite all of the bullying that she gets on a daily basis. And it just shows that even though people are on the internet typing away, hating on this girl, Blue Ivy is still blessed, paid up. She is in a bunch of Beyonce's projects. That little girl is going to be mad successful. So even though people hate her for having her nappy hair or for having a wide nose like her father, she is still living her best life. I really want to point out, now that Blue Ivy's hair is longer and less snappy, as you guys would like to say, there's been a bunch of praise towards her. And I find this very suspicious, because you guys only like black hair when it fits your ideals. You only like black hair when it's looser, and you only like black hair when it's longer. And I just want to say that even though you guys are still gonna hate on Blue Ivy, that little girl has gorgeous, healthy hair. And you can even see in this picture of Blue Ivy that because of the fact that Beyonce never brushed her hair, like y'all like to say, her hair is growing up to be healthy, long, and strong. And that just goes to show you that when you let black hair thrive, and you don't manipulate it until it's broken and shattered, it can do amazing things. So in conclusion, I just want to say that Blue Ivy does not deserve the hate that she gets. The way that the internet and our society has shamed and bullied this little girl is unacceptable, and it is just a major proof that texturism, racism, and colorism are still in our society, and we need to do something about that. If you have the audacity to be texting and saying really negative things about a little girl, you need to seek help. And that's all I have for you guys today. If you like this video, make sure that you like this video, subscribe if you guys want to, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.